Today, we'll show you how you can easily integrate data from an existing database into the Tengu platform without being dependent on your IT team or technically proficient. The integrated data can be stored in a unified database, used for scripts, and sent to your business intelligence or visualization tool. Tengu currently supports integrations with PostgreSQL, InfluxDB and ArangoDB. This type of integration is also an excellent showcase to explain Tengu's automatic discovery principle, called watchers. Databases are still the go-to place to store your data. Since the first database system, many different flavors have surfaced, each with their specificities: relational databases, document stores, graph databases, column-oriented data stores, OLAP systems, etc. Tengu currently supports the following database technologies, but many will follow. PostgreSQL, this is the go-to open-source relational database system. You can use it in different forms as well, e.g. document or object store. InfluxDB, this database is one of the most prominent time series databases. It was specially created to store time-based data, e.g. IoT sensor data, monitoring metrics, and many others. ArangoDB, this is a native multimodal database supporting key-value, document and graph models. It is one of the main data stores internally used by Tengu. For this tutorial, we will integrate the PostgreSQL database technology. You will need an account to complete this tutorial yourself. Broadly speaking, integrating a database in Tengu follows the same process. The only thing that can change is some database-specific configuration parameters. Nonetheless, you can also watch our How to Integrate ArangoDB and InfluxDB how-to videos when desired. To start the PostgreSQL database integration, click on the plus icon on the left bottom corner, scroll down to Data Store, and click on PostgreSQL Database Integration. We fill out the name, which is a PostgreSQL_demo_video. Then we add the tag, demo_video. Next, we need to add the host, port, username, password, database name, and schema. The host is the IP address or the DNS name of the database server. Tengu must be able to establish a network with this host. Either the database server is publicly accessible, then use the public IP address or DNS name of the server. If the server is on a private network, no worries, Tengu has mechanisms to cope with this. The port is the network port number that is used to connect to the database server. Tengu knows the default ports of the databases in its library. If you use the default port number, this field can be left empty. If you don't know these configuration parameters, please ask your database administrator to provide you with the information, or even better, ask them to set it up for you in Tengu. The username and password are the credentials Tengu will use to connect to the database. If the database doesn't have any users defined, something we highly advise against, you can leave these fields empty. The best practice is to create a specific user that Tengu can use. This allows you to change the permissions for Tengu easily. By restricting the permissions for the Tengu user, it is possible to limit what Tengu can see and do in your connected database. It is possible only to allow read writes for the Tengu user. This, of course, implies Tengu won't create any tables, collections or measurements. If your company has specific security policies in place, make sure you follow these policies. This is something Tengu does not enforce. When in doubt, check with the database administrator. The database name is how the database is called on the database server. Notice this is different from the name field. The name field is how the database is called in Tengu, and the database name is how it is called on your server. You can only fill in the schema configuration for a PostgreSQL database integration. When left empty, Tengu uses the default public schema. If you want to use a different schema available on the database, enter the schema here. When all necessary configuration parameters are entered, press the Test Connection button. Tengu will now check if it can reach the database. Even if the database is not publicly accessible, Tengu has its ways around it. On success, hit the Create button. This will create the database integration in Tengu. Next, we see a new element popping up in the graph view. This is our integrated PostgreSQL element, and a few seconds later, we also see several tables of the element popping up. All elements have a green dot on them, which means the integration was successful. As you have seen yourself, once you've set up the database integration in Tengu, Tengu will automatically discover the interesting bits and pieces for PostgreSQL. This is the tables. This is a fully automated process, and from this moment on, Tengu will watch over the database and keep the Tengu graph in line with what is happening on the database. For example, if we add a new table to the PostgreSQL in the Tengu platform, Tengu will notice after a few seconds and add it to the graph. Similarly, when a table is deleted from an integrated PostgreSQL database element, Tengu will always make sure the graph represents reality. As you've seen yourself, it's super easy to integrate a PostgreSQL database into the Tengu platform. We hope you enjoyed watching this how-to video. Leave your questions, comments or appreciation at our YouTube channel, and don't forget to leave a like if it was helpful or to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Have a great day.